The acne industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it is where companies formulate these external applications of serums and different creams to combat acne. Well, they might help a little bit, but they're like a masking agent or a Band-Aid. That is not the thing that you deal with acne. Acne is primarily internal inside the body. And a lot of people have skin that produces butter in the pores instead of nice, clean oil. About 20% of the population will never get acne and never has had acne, and they have beautiful skin. That 20% is what it is. They produce very fine oil, and the pores are small in their skin. They have very smooth, beautiful skin. So if you're in the 80 percentile where you don't have that perfect skin, then there are other things that you need to be aware of that causes acne problems. And it's usually with the liver. If your liver is not able to process fat properly, then the wrong kind of fat comes out and it goes into your pores and causes little infections that build up from blackheads to whiteheads to cystic acne. And I am definitely in the 80 percentile of the population. And when I was in my teens, I had mountains of cystic acne on my cheeks. It was extremely embarrassing. And I was extremely self-conscious about that in my teens. It's also tied into other different toxicities in the body with gut health. If your gut health is off and your microbial population is overcome with the bad guys versus the good guys, that also causes a leaky gut, which allows these different toxins to leak out of your gut into your bloodstream and wreaks more havoc. So most of acne problems, whether it's bacne or acne on the face, is caused with toxicity, liver function, gut health. So you've got to go in and do detoxes. You've got to make sure that you turn your body into a very efficient fat-burning body, and that involves very specific protocols. You also want to make sure your gut health, if you've had antibiotics, like another thing that I got hit with in my teens was I took tetracycline, which helped to battle the acne problem. It did not remove it. It went less. And there's other drugs like Accutane. Unfortunately, I took Accutane in my 20s, which was a very huge no-no because Accutane wreaks so much havoc with your hormones. It dries your body out. It is one of the worst things. Accutane did make my acne go away for a period of time, but it dried my body out so much. A few years later, it all came back. And so Accutane is definitely not the answer. So the misconceptions around taking antibiotics, which destroys your gut health, and or things like pharmaceutical drugs like Accutane, or all these different creams and potions that are sold by the billions to unsuspecting people like Proactive or whatever these things that are out there that sell massive quantities, promising to have the acne problem dealt with, are only masking, and they're not the answer. And they're actually harmful when you look at the chemicals that are in these things. And you just want to make sure you have a good, healthy gut. If you have to go and take some probiotics, look up Dr. Ohira. He has a very good product that's shelf stable and goes in and really builds up the population in your gut. And do some liver cleanses. Make sure that you're using some milk thistle. Get your liver cleaned out, because when your liver's cleaned out, then it works properly for digesting fat. And make sure you're eating fat at the right amount. You're not having the wrong kind of fat. As soon as you have the wrong kind of fat, where you're eating like chips that are, sunflower, canola oil, whatever, they're cooked. They're really bad news. And that's the wrong kind of fat. If you have the wrong kind of fat in your system, you're going to continue to battle acne. And then if your hormones are off, hormones also affect acne for women specifically, where they're going through their cycle and they don't have the proper elements in their cycles not on properly. Their hormonal system is wreaking havoc, or they're getting stress. Another really bad one for acne is any kind of coffee. Coffee has different oils in it that are highly inflammatory, and that will definitely contribute to acne. So you just got to be aware it's the internal more than the external it's a 90-10 rule. The external will help, but it's primarily internal, and all of us are subject to that if we go off a little bit, if you're in that 80 percentile. And I'm actually glad I'm in the 80 percentile because I now know my body tells me right away if I'm doing something incorrectly, and I might get a zit or something like that, which is very rare for me, but it does happen from time to time. because I'm prone to that kind of thing if I don't have the internal just dialed in right. That's really the bottom line for acne. Get your internal situation, particularly your liver and your gut, healthy and your hormonal system dialed in, and you'll get rid of it for good.